Well, good evening, Arkansas, and a happy Sunday to everybody around the state. Hopefully you got outside to really enjoy this very nice late February weather that we have had over the past couple of days. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. That is coming to a screeching halt as we head into the next 24 hours.
Definitely. So, as we've been talking about over the last couple of days here, a very, very active work week coming to you guys as we get to starting tomorrow with the severe threat tomorrow, and then we have the end of part of the week, the potential for winter weather across the board here. So, first and foremost, we are going to start off with the severe weather potential. I know a ton of people are going to join this live stream asking about the winter weather potential. However, we got to get past the severe weather first. We got two threats of severe weather that we got to contend with first before we start talking about the winter weather potential. So we're looking at a region-wide view what to expect as we get towards tomorrow. Here you got an area of low pressure up there in Kansas, dry line along Interstate I-35 towards the west, and then you're going to have a warm front that's going to surge northward as we get towards late tonight and into tomorrow, setting the stage for the potential of seeing severe weather. As you guys all know, we do have that slight risk and effect for much of northern, western, and central Arkansas for tomorrow and down into southwestern Arkansas, and the potential damaging winds, hail, and a couple of tornadoes are on the board here. You guys saw the post earlier. The atmosphere will be ready to go for the potential of a couple of tornadoes by the time we get towards tomorrow evening here. Go ahead, Derek.
So the biggest concern with tomorrow evening is that, and I mentioned this this morning as well.
Yep.
So our biggest concern with tomorrow evening is that we are going to have the instability that we did not have with the last event.
Yep.
We're going to have a much more warm and unstable air mass than we had with the last event. Obviously, the moisture is going to be plentiful. Temperatures overnight, you're going to see those temperatures start to slowly rise overnight. And in the morning, we're going to have temperatures in the 60s across much of the state. We're going to hit the mid-70s across parts of the state tomorrow. Tomorrow night, we may be lucky if we drop below 65. Yep. It's going to feel more of a late spring, early summer type of air mass, not your typical February type of air mass. And what that's going to do is lead to fuel for thunderstorm development. Yep. The biggest concern is that this could be more of a cellular event instead of a linear event. If this does in fact become a cellular, especially along that warm front, that's where the potential does exist for an increasing risk of large hail and isolated tornado threat, not only a damaging wind threat, because normally you see damaging wind threat along the cold front. We're going to get into that in just a minute. We think that might be more of Tuesday's threat.
Definitely.
Late Monday night into Tuesday. But Monday afternoon, Monday evening, into the overnight hours Monday, we could be watching for the potential of a few cellular storms. And if those storms do stay isolated, then we could see an enhanced risk of tornadoes. But where is going to be the question.
Definitely, and we'll have to watch where that position, that warm front sets up for late tomorrow night and into Tuesday morning here, guys. So, as I said before, guys, that's what we're going to be watching as we get towards that time frame here. Now, as you see on your screen here, this is the Day 2 severe weather risk for Arkansas. The slight risk from much of northern, northeastern, down into western Arkansas, and then you have the southern Arkansas area in the marginal risk right now. But do not let your guard down, folks, just because we're in this low risk for severe weather. We typically have our severe weather in a marginal or in a slight risk area. And also, and I said for folks, and everyone's kind of joining in kind of late, we're going over the severe threat first because that's the first thing we got to contend with for Monday and Tuesday, and then we'll start talking about the winter weather potential as we get later into the live stream. So this is Tuesday set up here. Derek, I'm going to let you go ahead and explain this one.
So the biggest thing here about Tuesday, and again, this is going to be highly dependent up on the cold front. As you saw with the last one, warm front comes north and dry line moves east. As we go into overnight hours Monday into day on Tuesday, that dry line will be overtaken by the cold front. What that means is, north of the cold front, you're going to have temperatures. Everybody will start out in the 70s on Tuesday.
Definitely.
That's something that we're going to have to contend with. But the biggest question is now, as this front moves through on Tuesday, how fast does it move through? If it slows down, that severe risk comes back west. And some guidance is trying to nudge that back west, and we're going to see what the Day 2 outlook looks like this evening. Cameron and I both are kind of worried they're going to nudge that back west a little bit this evening. But this should be the approximate position of the cold front about 6 o'clock on Tuesday evening.
Yep.
So this means your severe storms will be moving off towards the Mississippi River. This will be give or take 3 or 4 hours. We still have to take it into contend with a heavy rain threat in much of central and northern Arkansas, where 2 to 3 inches of rain could be seen from Monday into the day on Tuesday.
Definitely.
But as the cold front moves across, this is when we expect more of a linear threat. This is where your damaging wind risks come in, and with the amount of wind energy that we have, 60 to 80 knot low level jet in place, we could be talking about 60, 70, 80 mile an hour winds with this line of storm as it moves across. Again, we only have a slight risk of severe weather, so confidence is low in storm coverage, but confidence is high enough to issue that risk area where it is.
Definitely.
As we head into the day tomorrow, I fully expect that risk to either increase or grow with time.
Yep, and I was going to say before, you can still get those type of damaging winds even in a slight risk area. You don't necessarily need an enhanced or anything higher to get those types of events here with the severe weather. So just kind of keep that in mind, folks. And regardless of that, also, we not only have the severe weather threat we got to contend with, but there's a flooding threat with this as well. Derek mentioned before about the potential of seeing some places 3 to 4 inches of rain, especially up there in northern Arkansas. And you guys know, you do not need to rain up there in northern Arkansas at all. Southern Arkansas, yes, because you're in a moderate and severe drought down there, but northern Arkansas, you do not need to rain at all. Okay, so flooding will be a second thing that we'll have to contend with for this upcoming week, guys. It's going to be a very, very active week for us here in the natural state. So before, we got to contend with these threats first, and then as we get towards the later part of the week, is when we start contending with the potential winter weather here. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this. So this is the severe weather outlook for Tuesday. The slight risk for southern Arkansas and southeast. I would not be shocked, as Derek mentioned before, with that day 2 update that's going to come out around midnight, that this gets nudged possibly a couple miles to the west. It may include central Arkansas, especially the first part of Tuesday. And then this should quickly get out of here by the time we get towards Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening.
Let's go back and look at the Arkansas map from Monday, because this is what I want to show. Okay, so you see where the slight risk is. No.
Okay.
All right, so you see where the slight risk is Monday.
Yeah.
This goes until 7 a.m. Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Then let's go back to the one for Tuesday.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So this is where the risk supposedly would be. SPC moved this back west for Monday. This one won't be updated. Tuesday won't be updated again
until about midnight.
Until midnight tonight. I fully expect this to shift west as well, especially with the cold front kind of trying to slow down a little bit, just enough to where we're going to see those 70s across much of central southern Arkansas. Would not be shocked to see a day 1 enhanced across parts of very far southeast Arkansas into Mississippi and parts of Tennessee as well, especially for damaging winds. But again, as the cold front comes through Monday night, early Tuesday, it's going to push across state. There should be enough dynamics in place where we still see severe weather. Unlike the last event, temperatures are going to be very, very warm ahead of this front.
Yep, Pepper, I saw your question. Yes, we are. And I remember kind of reiterate what I was saying before. We got to deal with the severe weather and the flooding first. Regardless of what happens with the Wednesday, Thursday time frame of winter weather, I know the majority of everyone likes winter weather, but we got to contend with these first. And me and Derek both stress all the time about severe weather because it's the number one thing that's life-threatening. Okay, it's the number one thing that comes up to you. It's out of the blue. That's the one thing we talk about. Okay, so the severe weather right now, since it's 24, 48 hours out, is taking the higher priority versus the winter weather right now. Okay,
and this is something I said on Twitter earlier today.
Yeah.
Tornadoes, flooding, are more life-threatening and take more lives than winter weather. And that's what we want to focus on. There's a basically this is your risk levels. Flooding is number one with this upcoming risk.
Yep.
Severe weather number 2. Winter weather is at the bottom of our list right now, but we're going to get into that as well.
Yep.
But we're going over each event one at a time.
Yep.
So let's go on. So now we've gone over the severe threats.
Yep.
Now we're going to shift into Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be a transition day.
Yep.
We're going to see a lot of rain. Tuesday night into Wednesday, we should see mostly dry conditions, cloudy skies, but those temperatures are going to, remember, Tuesday temperatures fall. They fall rapidly. You're going to be in the 70s in the morning, you're going to be in 30s in the afternoon.
Yep.
Somebody in northern Arkansas will be in the 20s. Somebody south will be down in the 40s. As we head into Wednesday morning, the next low starts to come out of Texas, follow along the front, and then what's going to happen is you're going to have colder air on the back side of the low. So the eastern side is going to see a lot of rain, cold rain at that, temperatures in 30s and 40s. On the back side of that low, across Oklahoma, parts of Texas, and northwest Arkansas, we're going to see that transition to at least freezing rain and some sleet.
Yep.
As you go further west, you're going to talk about sleet and snow.
Yep. So for Derek, just kind of reiterate everything what Derek was talking about here, guys, because I know everyone's going to see this map. This is for throughout the day on Wednesday. This is not for the entire event or anything like that. We're going over everything kind of step by step. But this is for during the day on Wednesday here, because you're going to have colder air moving in with the moisture beginning to move into Arkansas. Okay, so now you're transitioning over from the severe flooding threat at the early part of the week to the winter weather side for the end part of the week here. So everyone that's wondering about the winter weather, tag them. This is where we're going to start talking about it now here. So, as Derek said before, up there in northwest Arkansas during the day on Wednesday is primarily going to be up there in northwestern Arkansas and into Oklahoma and the northern Texas along the Red River Valley. Go ahead, Derek.
And this is another concern here.
Yep.
Heavy rain is still going to be a threat.
Definitely.
So we're talking 1 to 3 inches early in the week. We could be talking about another 1 to 2 inches late in the week, upwards of 3 to 4 inches again, especially as we head up towards the Mississippi River. So this is a concern of ours that we're going to see a multi-type of event, even as we start talking about winter weather.
Yep.
This is the other concern with the winter weather. How much moisture is in place? Because if we get heavy rain with temperature in the 20s, we all know in Arkansas what that leads to. For our people in the Ozarks, parts of the Ouachitas, up into northeast Arkansas, very much concerned about that potential of icing. Now, similar to the last winter weather event, colder gets here sooner, then we're talking about another heavy sleet storm again.
Yeah.
So again,
let's go ahead and talk about that real
let's
quick.
go on. And so now I know the graphic says Wednesday. This should have said Wednesday night into Thursday.
Yep.
It comes from a tired weekend.
Yeah.
But okay, so now this is Wednesday night throughout the day on Thursday. Okay.
Yep.
So as you can see, let's go back.
Okay. Yep.
So Wednesday.
Yep, that's right.
And
there,
then
Wednesday.
let's shift this to Wednesday night and Thursday. Your 32 line moves south. Your freezing line moves south. As a low moves east, that freezing line is going to come south. The question right now is how far south does it come? With a 1045?
1045.
A 1045 millibar Arctic high pressure coming down, and a low moving to the south of the state along a stalled front. We all know that typically leads to northeast wind. Northeast winds bring in the cold air a little bit sooner. How cold and how deep that air will be remains to be seen.
Yep.
We have kept that wintry mix line right on the doorstep of central Arkansas, right along the I-40 corridor, and then down into the Ouachita Mountains. Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, you're going to get it no matter what. And unfortunately, you may see more winter side of this than you see rainfall side of this. Now, the other thing is you can see the heavy rain area across much of southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, into Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. Some of this is going to be falling freezing rain. Some of this is going to be just heavy rain. 1 to 2 inches of rain. My concern is this. If we get heavy rain in northeast Arkansas, or even into central Arkansas, where our temperatures are running 27 to 32 degrees, we could be talking about a major ice storm.
Right.
I'm not expecting it yet. We're not forecasting it yet. We're way too soon to forecast winter precip types yet.
Yeah, definitely.
But the possibility is there for freezing rain and sleet, maybe some snow on the back side of this as it all pulls away.
Yeah.
Another thing, Cameron and I have both discussed. Does the low move north or does the low move south as it pulls away?
Yeah, I was just going to talk about that. So the track of the low is going to be very crucial as we get towards that time frame here, that Wednesday and the Thursday time frame here. We've been kind of talking about it over the last couple of days, how the Canadian model has been basically a brick wall. It's been consistent on producing winter weather across the majority of Arkansas. It's because it's much stronger with the Arctic ridge. So basically trying to forecast this low right now is where's the gradient between the two ridges. How strong is the southeast ridge and how strong is the Arctic ridge? For the last 2 winter weather events we've had this exact same setup, the Arctic ridge has worn out. So the Arctic ridge right now is 2-0 against the southeast ridge. Okay, that's because of the time of the year. January and February, our southeast ridge is not strong at all. It's trying to make its way back, getting ready for spring, but it's not quite strong enough yet. So this time of year, this is why you see winter weather a lot, is because your southeast ridge is trying to come back. Moisture gets thrown into the Arctic air, making its way southward, and that's where you get the potential of seeing winter weather. Okay, so where you see the 2 arrows, where the low is, the track north and the track south. Those 2 arrows are very, very crucial to what happens with this winter weather threat. If this low goes 50 to 100 miles north, that line from winter emits for central Arkansas goes straight north.
Yeah.
And everybody's majority of a cold rain, except for northern Arkansas, and that area could see the potential of a significant icing event. Let's take this track of 50 to 100 miles south and rides along the Gulf Coast. Then, Brandon, this is where you're going to start talking about the potential of snow being mixed in across northwestern Arkansas, and you drop that pink line that you're seeing all the way down to southern Arkansas at this point. Okay, so right now, the blend between both of our thoughts and blend of most guidance favors this track, where southern Arkansas is a cold rain, central, potential of freezing rain, and then northern Arkansas, the potential of freezing rain, sleet, and some light snow at the very end of all this. Go ahead.
So the biggest thing is here on Thursday. On Thursday is going to be one of those days. So Wednesday night, this is going to be in northern Arkansas. Then and again, for those of you just tuning in, this should say Wednesday night into Thursday.
Yeah.
But again, it's going to start off in northern Arkansas and then gradually transition south. So again, Thursday in central Arkansas should be a cold rain most of the day. But as we head into Thursday afternoon and evening, I do expect to see a little bit of a transition to ice and maybe a little bit of sleet. At least a rain and sleet mix here in central Arkansas towards the Washita Mountains. The cold areas will likely be there sooner. I would not be surprised to see significant icing in places like Mena, Mount Magazine, up towards Rich Mountain, places like that. Our River Valley folks, again, this could be a situation where the valley floor sees just rain, where your elevations see ice or sleet. And again, it could be a situation where ice reaches all the way to the valley floor, and then we have sleet and snow up on the mountaintop. So it really depends on the strength of the cold air as it moves in.
Definitely.
For our folks in the Ozarks, this is where I think we are going to see mostly so basically from areas from Fort Smith to Harrison to Mountain Home, would not be shocked to see more of a sleet and snow event there, with a freezing rain event closer northeast and then down into east central and even into parts of central Arkansas. If the cold air is deeper, like it was last time, like it has been for a few of these events, we should see more sleet than freezing rain here in central into east central Arkansas. But this one has more of that classic southwest flow icing events potential more than the last one did.
Right.
Again, temperatures depend upon everything.
Yeah, and another thing about those temperatures too here, because I know you're saying rain, sleet here in central Arkansas, that still awaits to be seen. We've seen with these last couple of events where guidance is not doing a good job with the temperatures. Temperatures are likely too warm with the computer model guidance. Last couple of events we've had where guidance had us in the upper 30s, low 40s, and then we were struggling to get near freezing or even in some cases below freezing. So just kind of keep that in mind. Over the next couple of days, guidance is going to attempt to have its better idea with the cold air that it's working with. So this may flip back and forth over the next couple of days here, but
we are in that period,
where the day 4, day 5 period, definitely.
Where guidance warms up.
Yep.
And again, even though warm up is literally a 34, 35 degree, 36 degrees versus 27, 28. And again, we saw this, we've seen this with the last several events, the last 2 days prior, and the early NAM coming in is colder.
Yeah.
Again,
speaking of which,
than we've seen. So if short-term guidance holds, we're going to see this freezing line slowly shift south Wednesday night and Thursday. So Thursday is the day to watch, especially for areas from Washita Mountains to Little Rock to Memphis. I fully expect areas from Fort Smith to Jonesboro will see mostly wintry weather starting late Wednesday afternoon throughout the day on Thursday.
Definitely. So we're going to go ahead and go over to our rainfall map real quickly, guys, to kind of reiterate where we're talking about the rainfall. We're talking about a good 3 to 4 inches of rain across northern Arkansas. So the potential is there for flooding. You guys are already on a flood watch up there for much of north central Arkansas. Some places in northeastern Arkansas could get as high as 4 to 5 inches of rainfall with this, and then down in southern Arkansas, lower amounts at this point. But everybody in general should see a good amount of widespread rainfall with this event here. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind here. Not only we're dealing with severe weather, we're dealing with winter weather. All weather types as we get towards this upcoming week, guys, and also the flooding potential will be there as well here. And then, folks, we're going to get to y'all's questions in just a bit once we go over everything. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I want to hit on this as well. Some of these rainfall amounts in northwest Arkansas could feature a little bit of ice, especially on Wednesday and Thursday. So something we're not forecasting 2 to 3 inches of ice. Don't get me wrong on this. These are just rainfall amounts. But as we get closer towards Wednesday, we're going to start. Let us get through this severe weather first. Then we're going to start coming out with accumulation maps for ice, sleet, and snow.
Definitely.
But we're going to get through our severe risk first, and then we're going to keep harping on the flooding risk because the flooding risk is high, especially for northern Arkansas.
Yep. So to go over everything here. So this is your forecast for northern Arkansas here, guys. So before tomorrow, the severe weather threat is on the table here. I know you guys see the winter weather threat, and I know I kind of sound like a broken record talking about it, but apparently it's a stigma. You know, you got to get to the severe weather threat first before you start talking about potential winter weather. So severe threats on the table for tomorrow. Keep in mind, the environment will be favorable for severe weather. There's a good amount of instability, great amount of shear tomorrow with this system that's coming in. Okay, so be prepared for that. Most areas are under a slight risk for severe weather for tomorrow. So temperatures tomorrow in the 70s up there in northern Arkansas, overnight lows in the 60s. Tuesday into Wednesday, it will be our transition period. We're going from spring back to winter here. Temperatures on Tuesday will be met in the upper 60s. The beginning of Tuesday will fall quickly throughout the afternoon here, guys. So if you're planning on working on Tuesday, I would take a coat with you. You may get some crazy looks in the morning, but I promise you, you're going to need it by the afternoon with temperatures falling very quickly during the afternoon. And then by the time we get towards Wednesday and Thursday, that will be setting the stage for winter weather up there in northern Arkansas. And right now, too early to call for anything, but good amount of computer model guidance supports the potential of winter storm up there in northern Arkansas. So we'll keep you guys informed on all that. Right now, I think it's a little too early for the wording, but we'll keep you guys updated on that potential here. But temperatures hovering around that freezing mark, overnight lows in the 20s. And then next weekend, right now, it's a wait and see.
There's another system.
There is another system this weekend.
There's another system that has now showed up that's going to move along the southerly track with cold air in place. Again, we're going to harp on this a little bit more. This may be a situation where North Arkansas gets a few flurries here and there, and it more affects central and southern Arkansas.
Yep.
Now, speaking of central Arkansas, this is where the forecast uncertainty is really there. Again, we fully expect, and I forgot to highlight Tuesday on here for severe weather. But again, we have severe weather Monday afternoon, evening. And again, Monday afternoon, evening does look to be a cellular event right now, so not everybody's going to see severe weather, but any storms that do form will have the potential of damaging winds, large hail, and isolated tornadoes. As we go into Tuesday is going to be more of a cold front type of event. We're going to see cold front come through, linear, and once that cold front comes through, your temperatures will tank. They are going to tank. I would say by midday, we're going to be in the mid to upper 70s. By late afternoon, you're going to be wishing you had a coat with temperatures in the 30s and 40s and wind chills down into the 20s with heavy rain still falling.
Yep.
Now, as we head into Wednesday, we're going to see a break on Tuesday night and Wednesday across central Arkansas. Parts of the Ouachita's, north of I-40, River Valley, places like that will start to see that rain transition over to a mix during the evening and into the overnight hours. Now, the question is going to be, how low do our temperatures go? I've held them up for now because there's a lot of guys that says we only get down to 30, 31, 32 degrees. Metro areas points east, 32, 33. Metro areas west, 30, 31. So we're kind of on that line right now. Therefore, our lows are just a little bit low. But rain transitions to a mix of freezing rain, sleet, and even some rain Wednesday night. And then, of course, Thursday, this is where the biggest uncertainty is. Low goes 50 miles south. Low goes 50 miles south. This cold air comes south. We see more sleet and freezing rain. Low goes north. This moves to strictly a cold rain. Definitely. So that's why there's still forecast uncertainty. There's a 90% chance of some sort of precipitation, depending where you're at in central Arkansas. Some will see heavy rain. Some will see a wintry mix.
Definitely.
But right now, wintry mix should be the predominant precip type, especially I-40 west and I-40 north.
Yep, and I was just going to say for that Thursday time frame, track goes 50 miles south. You're going to probably be in the 20s on Thursday here in the upper 20s, low 30s, and it goes north. You could potentially be talking about temperatures in the 40s across central Arkansas if that's the case here. So to kind of reiterate the Saturday, Sunday time frame, we are watching that closely too. Mm-hmm. Right now, like I said, for our southern stream system, cold air still in place. Could see a little bit of a wintry mix late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. We're about a week away. We're still too early to talk about that potential. However, we will watch it and we'll keep you guys informed on it. But it's going to be an active week. We got to get past the majority of this week first before we start talking about the Saturday time frame here, guys. So
just when we thought after Thursday, we were going to be having a nice quiet period. Just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, southern Arkansas. Obviously, no winter weather here, but we've been talking about a much-needed rain setup for much of southern Arkansas. We are in a major drought across parts of South Arkansas, so we desperately need the rain. Unfortunately, most of the much-needed rain is going to be in northern Arkansas, but we're still expecting 1 to 3 inches of rain here in the south. But
that's better than nothing.
Unfortunately, for the South Arkansas, this is where we could see some severe weather issues, especially Monday night and Tuesday.
Big time, and even Tuesday afternoon, I'm looking at the latest NAM right now, and it's got temperatures around mid-70s on Tuesday here, guys. So to kind of reiterate there, said before, about late Monday afternoon, Monday evening, more afternoon, more evening, that's when you're going to start seeing the potential severe weather coming into the play, especially across southern Arkansas. Now, it's going to get warm, and it's going to get muggy down there in southern Arkansas for the next 2 days. It's going to feel more like spring and early summer versus winter down there for the next 2 days here, so keep that in mind. Cold front comes through Tuesday evening and into Tuesday night here, okay? Much of northern and central Arkansas, the front should be through, you guys, right around lunch or even midday for some places. Southern Arkansas, you're going to be in the 70s all day on Tuesday before the front gets there. That's why the severe threat is there for you on Tuesday as well. So Monday night into Tuesday, the potential of a couple tornadoes, hail, and a damaging wind threat. We're already prepared tomorrow night to be live for a few tornado warnings tomorrow night, okay? So keep that in mind, okay? Wednesday and Thursday. Right now, it's just rain, okay? Now, here's the thing. Even if this track goes 50 to 100 miles south, I still think you guys are going to be a cold rain down there in southern Arkansas. Mm-hmm. Just because the southeast ridge is just that strong, okay? Mm-hmm. I think you guys are going to be a cold rain down there in southern Arkansas for the much of this event. I'm not really worried about icing down there unless you see a significant drop in temperatures across southern Arkansas. You need these temperatures to come down about 10 to 15 degrees before you start talking about winter weather down there in southern Arkansas. And I just don't see that happening because the southeast ridge is going to fight back a little bit, but it's not going to be a significant pushback. And then, of course, we'll have to watch next weekend as well. Right now, 30% props. Wait and see on that at this moment, and then we will kind of address it once we get towards the middle of the week here.
And then, obviously, just beyond the 7-day period, already watching next week as well for another active period.
Yep.
Again, probably not as active as this week, but as we turn the calendar into the 1st of March, that's when we start talking about start watching for periods of severe weather, as well as a little bit of. We're heading closer toward the end of the winter weather threats.
Yep.
But again, that threat is still on the table. I think next week we're going to start transitioning a little bit towards the warmer, severe weather side, and of course our spring outlook will be coming out next weekend, weather permitting as well.
Definitely.
So let's go over some of the guidance now that we've summed up the forecast. This long headache of a forecast.
Yep, and I was fixing to say, because we only have I appreciate 300 people for being here, by the way, because I know people come in the live stream, don't get questions answered, they leave. I appreciate y'all being here. Me and Derek both, we had a lot of information to get out to you guys. So this is the favorite part for y'all, okay? If y'all have any questions, me and Derek both are here. We're going to give you guys the answers to it. And somebody made a comment earlier that they do not like seeing us together because every time we're together, it's a bad situation. It's a pretty bad situation, you guys. So I'm going to switch this over to guidance. And if y'all have any questions, please let me know. But this is the favorite part.
Let's take this back.
Okay, this is GFS, by the way.
Okay, let's show the FV3.
Yeah, the FV3.
Let's go to the FV3
because should be at 0Z by now. But if it's not, it's going to be 12Z.
So let's go to the FV3. This is a model that has been really kind of great when it comes to severe weather.
Yeah, it's right at the 0Z, so it should be coming out. There it is. Okay, so basically right now, I think it's probably going to be the same because you have a few scatter showers down there in southern Arkansas Monday afternoon here, but look what it does. Look exactly what it does. That's right there in that corridor that we've been watching up there in northern, northwestern Arkansas and in central Arkansas as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. I said before, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening here, we're going to have to watch for the potential of severe weather.
Yeah, and this is 4Z.
That's right around 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow evening.
So this is around 9 or 10 o'clock tomorrow evening where we talk about, again, and this is what I'm talking about, supercellular event.
Look at Tuesday.
Turning into a line of storm. And even then, it's still showing a broken line of storm. This particular guidance model, again, we don't like to harp on this model or that model, but this one, when it comes to severe weather, hit the December 10th event almost to a T.
Yep.
It hit last week's event down in the southeast almost to a T. I mean, so far, I'm not one for harping on models, but this one has been really accurate when it comes to severe weather. The last couple of events, so this one I really like, and Cameron likes too.
Definitely.
Especially when we're talking about both the flooding threats and the severe weather threats. Again, the biggest thing that we are watching for right now is basically we're looking for trends when it comes to both the severe threats, both to the heavy rain threats, and supercellular or linear modes.
Definitely.
And right now we're seeing a mix of both when it comes to especially when we talk about the severe threat.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go through some questions real quick. Okay, so if you missed the forecast, we run the live stream. It'll take you all the way back. You can go over it at that point. And also, we're going to have the graphics posted after the live stream. So once this is over, then we can go from there here. So would we put Damascus, Arkansas, freezing precipitation Wednesday night and Thursday? What do you think?
Yes.
I would. Yeah, I definitely would.
I'm just going to say yes because right
now,
if you live north of I-40, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say. Rain, freezing rain, sleet.
Chad, that answers your question too, by the way. Up there in Truman, Arkansas, that's northeast Arkansas. So that answers your question. Amanda, I appreciate y'all for being here, by the way. So northwest Arkansas, definitely up there, northwest Arkansas, Stephanie, be prepared for winter weather. I mean, you guys are going to see the cold air first. That's the privilege of living up there in northwestern Arkansas. 10 out of 10 times, you're going to get the cold air before anybody in the natural state. So winter weather is almost 100% guarantee up there in northwestern Arkansas as we get towards that Wednesday in the Thursday time frame here. Do you expect winter weather in northeast Arkansas to affect the 5 o'clock drive on Wednesday? Right now, probably not. I think it's going to be a little later than that. But it is definitely a wait and see here. And as I said before, folks, I know everybody's kind of trying to prepare for the winter weather threat, but the severe
really want to harp
on the severe and flooding threat.
Everybody's worried about the winter weather threat, but the severe threat is tomorrow, folks. And it's something that if we start overlooking the severe threat and focus on the winter threat, then the severe threat's going to sneak up because there's a good chance this could go enhanced sometime tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that is our concern, is that there's enough wind energy in place that this could go enhanced. Now, the question is will it be a wind-driven enhanced or tornado-driven enhanced? That's going to be the million-dollar question at this point. And right now, with the warm frontal setup that we have, I would not be shocked to see it kind of be a little bit of a mix of both. Again, most of the day should be dry tomorrow. But then
the NAM, I was going to say that. I think the NAM was a little bit capped off with this, but it has a decent idea on the environment here. So,
and that's another question about the severe weather. Here, we're going to have plenty of instability.
Look at the instability flowing in.
We're going to have plenty of instability, plenty of dynamics, but some guidance wants to indicate a cap. And I've talked about this several times over the years. It's basically a lid on the atmosphere.
Look at Tuesday, yeah.
It's basically a lid on the atmosphere. If those storms cannot break that lid, nothing happens.
Yep.
And you don't have any severe. You have plenty of rain, but no severe weather. This is what happened to us with the last event. We had plenty of moisture, but we didn't have much cape. Therefore, those storms couldn't break that cap.
Yep.
Now, here's the thing: you add instability into the picture. You add basically.
Yep.
You add instability. Well, that gives a storm a little bit more fuel, and the more fuel they have, the better they can lift. One storm goes up and starts to weaken. Next one goes up and weakens a little bit more. Then the next one comes up. And then once one storm breaks the cap, the rest tend to follow.
Yep.
And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for trends in terms of that cap. How much can storms come up and break that cap before they go up?
Yep.
If they can break that cap, your shear is it is spinning in all layers of the atmosphere. You have southwest winds aloft, southeast at the surface. That's going to give you your spin for supercell storms to develop. That's why we're harping on even though it's only a low-end tornado threat, it is there. It is in fact there because you just a little bit of cape and that's all you need.
Definitely. So for everybody that's asking about timing, right now I would say anything beyond 9 o'clock, from 9 p.m. and this is going to stretch, by the way. This is going to continue throughout the overnight hours tomorrow night and into much of the day on Tuesday here. So for most areas, you probably won't clear out until Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday evening. But the majority of this should start in western Arkansas about 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow evening. Okay, so everybody's asking about tornado potential. Tornado potential is there, okay?
Yep.
But there is a damaging wind and hail threat with this as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. As Derek said before, do not overlook the severe threat, okay? Because I've seen we've had this problem before where we've had both winter and severe weather on the table, and everybody's focusing on the winter weather, which is perfectly okay. I mean, we understand preparing for road conditions and stuff like that. But when you have severe weather 24 hours out,
Yep.
that's when you got to have that priority to the severe weather side before the winter weather, because you can always go to winter weather once your severe threat is completely over with. So, Dustin, do you expect? That's a good question, Dustin. The brief spin up or the cells that produce the bigger tornadoes? That's a good question.
Both.
Go ahead. Both. I would
Honestly,
say both.
right now, because this is the thing. So let's look if we can see on the FE3. Can you pull up the tracks?
I cannot on Weatherbill. I can't,
Okay.
but I think let's use the Harvard's name, because Harvard's name had a.
I don't like the NAM because it's a little bit too.
Yeah.
The NAM tends to be
Overcapped.
decent and overcapped. And
Yeah.
again, this is I do believe this is a little bit too far north. So basically, what I mean by yes to both is that the initial round will be, because it's a dry line setup. Let's go look at the dew points with the dry line, because that's going to be a key here. Because what's happening is you have a dry line that's going to be moving across, but your cold front's going to be coming down. So what that tends to do,
yep, that's your setup.
What that tends to do, and you can see the dry line and the cold front catching up to the dry line.
Yeah.
We also see a triple point as well forming. What we look for here is where the warm front and dry line and cold front kind of meet and move across is where your greatest potential of shear, instability, moisture all overlap, and that's where we start looking for that possibility of where we're going to see at least a chance of both large hail, damaging winds, and isolated tornadoes.
Matter of fact,
Do I think we're going to see a long track event? No.
I would hope not.
I don't see that at this point. What I do see is a super cellular round early on in the event.
Definitely.
And those storms gradually form into a line. I don't think we're going to see a lot of them. 1, 2, or 3 isolated cells that are going to track northeast out of Oklahoma and Texas.
Yep.
Those are going to move
That's
northeast.
a lot of helicity.
And then they're going to move into the state. This is what we look for when we talk about spin in the atmosphere.
Yeah, so basically, this is what's called the storm relative helicity, or the amount of rotation in the atmosphere. And I've talked to you guys about this before in previous live streams. But anything above 100 is more than enough for a tornado. We'll just put it that way. You're talking 300, 400, 500, 600 in some cases. That's when it starts becoming an issue. That's when it starts throwing red flags at you. So this is what we're talking about. This is a good amount of low-level to mid-level rotation. So any cell that gets going and it's by itself will have that potential. That's why there's a 5% for the potential of seeing tornadoes for tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. I do fully expect the tornado watch, by the way. I fully expect that.
And there is a concern that Tuesday
definitely
could be a little... Tuesday, I think, is increasing across Arkansas.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking Monday evening into the day on Tuesday. So we're talking Monday evening into the day on Tuesday. If this cold front slows down just a little bit, that threat is going to increase on Tuesday.
Yeah,
and that's our concern right now, is that cold front slows down just enough to where we get the front end instability and moisture to surge on Tuesday as well.
There's Tuesday, by the way. That's a pretty, and that's your dew points, by the way. Dew points in the 60s.
Let's go to the actual air temperatures.
Yeah.
So let's go look at the air temperatures as well on Tuesday, because this is 18Z, so this would be 6 a.m.
The 18Z is right around noon.
Okay,
this
is
around noon. Yeah.
12Z is 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So 18Z, so this is noon on Tuesday.
Yeah.
70s across much of the state.
Look at your front boundary coming in, by the way.
This is concerning. If this front slows down this much, you will see an increased risk for severe weather, and it moves further west.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, some guys are a little bit faster with this, some is a little bit slower. Hence why there's still question marks. Hence why there's still question marks as to if we're going to see a linear or supercellular or both.
Yeah, and there's your instability coming in on Tuesday as well here. So there's not only a threat tomorrow, but there's also a threat on Tuesday here. And as Derek said before, to kind of look at something here, and I call this STP, by the way. And this is basically just tells you what your environment looks like for the potential of seeing tornadoes. And that's Tuesday, by the way. So that's right up there in northern Arkansas, northeast Arkansas, because your low's going to be moving away. So when your low moves away, you lose your veering winds. Basically means you lose basically the thing you need for a tornado. But it doesn't mean your severe threat's over. That means you transition from a tornado threat to a damaging wind threat. So Allison, tomorrow night, what I would do, if you need to get some sleep, that's perfectly fine. But I would have your phone on for alerts, especially if you live along and just north of I-40. Okay.
Yep.
I would have your phone on. I'll have your phone on for alerts tomorrow night. Okay. We're gonna go over this tomorrow too.
Yep.
Don't worry, we have
as we head into the day on Tuesday, central, east, southern Arkansas.
Definitely.
Going on sounding a red flag here. This is concerning me, especially northeast Arkansas.
Yeah, let's go to HR.
I would not be shocked to see a small enhanced area in northeast Arkansas to southern Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee. This is almost very reminiscent of December.
And there's 0Z, by the way. And look at there. Okay, so so the 18Z, not 18Z, the 0Z HR gets this out of here pretty quick on Tuesday. So it has a faster frontal boundary move through versus the NAM, that's the reason why there's so much uncertainty.
That's what we want to see.
That's what you want to see.
Yep.
But the problem is this. Look what's going on during the overnight hours tomorrow night and the early part of your Tuesday morning. Look where that line is. Yep. Anywhere along and south that line is where you're going to have the potential of seeing tornadoes here. And this is throughout the overnight hours, late tomorrow night into the early part of your Tuesday morning here, okay? And so we'll just have to watch this closely here. But this is one thing I like to look at. It doesn't tell you a tornado is actually going to happen, but it tells you
the environment is conducive
for potential of seeing tornadoes here, okay? So
I fully expect tornado watches to be issued on Monday evening.
Definitely.
Fully expect to see minimum severe thunderstorm watch on Tuesday.
Yeah.
With the hashtag few tornadoes possible.
And you're going to have to watch that, by the way. That's the HR. That's the HR.
That's the HR coming in with a supercellular mode.
Yeah.
Now this is what I've been watching for. If this does occur,
yeah.
Now here's the thing. Now remember what I was
Tuesday,
talking about.
By the way, Up there in northeastern Arkansas, yeah.
Now, remember what I was talking about. This could be a situation where some people see severe weather, others don't.
Yep.
But the risk area is going to be wide. This could be a situation where northern Arkansas sees more severe weather than southern Arkansas. Last thing we need in southern Arkansas is no rain. I know we don't need severe weather, obviously, but the last thing we need is this to avoid rainfall here, and that's my concern. But as you notice into Tuesday afternoon,
Yep.
you start to see that line forming just east of the metro.
Yep. And there's your instability, by the way. That's on Tuesday here. So it's like so far it's faster with the front, but you have to watch it close because there's a good amount of instability with this. So you transition from a tornado threat to a damaging wind threat by the time we get towards Tuesday afternoon. So I would still put a slight risk out. It'll probably be like a 2 or a 5% tour, especially if they're in the Ohio Valley. But that's something you just have to keep an eye on here. So advice on travel from Dirks to Little Rock on Tuesday, Ricky, you should be relatively okay. Just be careful on the roadways. Flooding will be a potential as well, so just kind of watch that close. We're going to have storm preparedness things on the page tomorrow. Noah's going to be here for much of the day tomorrow because me and Derek will be out of office. However, we will be back by tomorrow evening to give you guys severe weather coverage as we get towards tomorrow night here. So, Dustin, honestly, right now,
it's a wait and see.
It's a wait and see. I mean, we don't control the watches or anything, but with the environment in place and with HR coming in the way it looks, I would not be shocked to see possibly either a severe thunderstorm watch or a tornado watch by this time tomorrow. I really wouldn't be surprised.
Dustin, to answer your question, if some guidance is right, like the HRFE3, fully expect to see widespread watches or widespread warnings across the area. If we're capped off, like I mentioned earlier, then we could be talking like the NAM and the GFS have. Then we could be talking about a little bit, isolated warning or two here and there. So it's just really going to depend upon how things look as we head into the afternoon hours tomorrow. Or we're going to have sounding. Basically what they do is they put up a balloon sounding.
Yep.
And they're going to be putting up one at 6 a.m. I'm fully expecting they're going to put up one midday as well.
Here's your cover
tomorrow.
Right here.
I'm fully expecting the National Weather Service in Little Rock, Shreveport, Memphis, and Tulsa. They will be putting up a special balloon, some probably around lunch tomorrow as well.
Yep.
And then what that does is give us an idea of what the atmosphere is doing in real time. Is it capped off? Is there no cap? How much spin's in the atmosphere? What are our temperature loft, temperature surface? It'll give us a great idea of what we're looking at as we head into tomorrow evening, because that's going to be key. There's plenty of wind energy. There's plenty of moisture.
Yeah, speaking of wind energy.
And there's plenty of lift. Everything's in place for the potential for a severe weather event. The question is, how much of a cap will we see in place?
Yeah, so speaking of the wind potential here, it's nowhere near as bad, and this is the concerning part, by the way. So remember the last event where we had the 45, 50 mile per hour wind gusts at the surface. That told me and Derek basically that there's a lot of wind shear, and whenever you're dealing with severe weather, you don't want to focus on just the wind shear itself. Yep. So seeing 15, 25 mile per hour wind gusts here and there is concerning me, because that means that the wind shear is great, but it's not as significant. So that will allow for thunderstorm development as we get towards tomorrow evening. Look at there, by the way. That's tomorrow evening, by the way, with all that energy coming in.
Basically, what happened with the last event was we had too much wind shear.
Too much.
It sheared everything apart and it forced it out of the state. This time around, you have winds that are very typical with moisture return, 10, 15, 20 mile an hour gusts.
Yep.
So what that tells me is that you're going to have everything in place, except for one thing. Will we see that cap break? If the storm can break that cap, so everything's going to be dependent upon our cap tomorrow evening.
There's your warm front right there.
And again, if the warm front comes north,
yep, and it's even trying to fire some. It's trying to fire some storms along the warm front. And I said before, this is just the HR. You can't go off of just the HR for radar. Okay, so radar may look a completely different story by the time we get towards tomorrow evening here. So to kind of reiterate the winter weather potential, let's talk about that too, because I know we've been kind of chewing y'all's heads off about the severe weather potential, but folks, we are really, really, really trying to make sure y'all don't get blindsided about this severe weather potential. Okay, I know everyone's excited about the winter weather. We've had it. We know everyone's talking about it, etc. But folks, The severe weather potential is staring us right in the face. It's staring us right in the face, and you can't avoid it. Okay. The winter weather, it's about 4 days out. We have plenty of time to talk about the winter weather potential, but the severe is literally staring us right in the face. So we're gonna naturally tackle the first thing that's in front of our face versus the thing that's 4 days away. Okay. However, we will talk about the winter weather potential. Okay. So let's talk about it. Okay. So what's gonna happen as we get towards late Wednesday and Thursday? Front boundary passes through, and then you start seeing the winter weather come into northwest Arkansas. Now, keep in mind, this is just the European model, okay? It keeps it northwest of the state, okay? And then look what happens. It's gone. All right? Let's take this over to the GFS. Derek, go ahead. I know you were trying to say something over there.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
No, now, one thing I want to keep in mind on this, again, this is just model guidance, one model guidance.
Yep.
Again, data handles Arctic air very, very poorly.
Very
poorly. With the last event, very poorly. So, just because guidance is shifted, this is what exactly the same thing we saw with the last event. Guidance was a little bit south, then went back north, then it came back south. And again, that's why we haven't changed our forecast just yet, because I'm not sold that this is going to be obviously North Arkansas is going to see the brunt. Here's what I'm talking about right here. This is the GFS. GFS. This is right along a line with our. GFS is not budged. It has had I-40 up to the River Valley, and then down into the Washita Mountains, and then on down into the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
Yep.
Ice. Lots of ice.
Yep.
Lots and lots of ice. I hate to say that word again. Lots and lots of ice.
Yeah, for anyone that's expecting snow, this is not going to be a snow setup.
This is not going to be a snow.
This is not a snow
This is a freezing
setup.
rain and sleet setup is what this is.
Definitely.
We may see a few snowflakes on the back end of this, especially in northwest Arkansas, but I don't see much of it with that. Again,
really
you can see the icing event with northeast winds moving down the Mississippi River. If anybody remembers last event, it showed freezing rain, and we ended up with sleet.
Yep.
Southeast Arkansas ended up with ice.
Exactly.
I'm not saying it's going to be the same, but when you put 2 and 2 together,
Yep.
9 out of every 10 times, the guidance is always warmer than what you actually are on the day of.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a track low tier going through central Louisiana into northern Mississippi. So that track right there, similar to the last event here, temperatures busted, that cold air was able to get further south, and that's where you start seeing the winter weather potential across the neck of the woods here. So, when I said before, we're kind of the next 2 days is going to be very crucial. It's going to be very crucial. This is why we're saying right now, because like I said before, we know everyone's excited about the winter weather threat, but it's 4 days away. We got time to watch the winter weather threat kind of mold into what we're potentially looking at.
Let's go show
the severe threat's literally right there. Go ahead.
Let's go show them our brick wall.
Okay.
This is our brick wall. This is the one model that tends to handle these Arctic air masses.
Let's go back to yours because the 12
very well.
Yeah. So this is the 12Z. Okay. So this is not 12Z. This is 0Z from last night, the Canadian model. The 12Z had some issues, but you can see what it does. Okay. So this is late Wednesday into early Thursday morning. Okay. And look what it does right over the metro. So freezing rain right over the metro, and then up there in northern Arkansas. This is what we're talking about. The Canadian model right here is exactly what I mean. Low pressure right through central Louisiana and Mississippi. Okay, the thing that separates the Canadian versus the GFS is that your freezing line is much further south versus the GFS and even the Euro. The Euro is way up here. Okay, so we'll just draw this out. Okay, so E stands for Euro. Okay, the G over here stands for GFS, and the C down here stands for the Canadian. That right there, look at the difference. Okay, you're talking a northwest Arkansas event, a north central Arkansas event with the GFS, and you're talking almost a statewide event with the Canadian.
And even with the GFS, it takes the icing into parts of southeast Arkansas, Washita's, and down into the metro. So you have 2 versus 1 right now. And again, confidence and experience tells us 9 out of 10 times you're going to see this shift at least a little bit further south, especially overnight Wednesday into the day on Thursday, or Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening as the system pulls away.
Yep. Exactly.
9 out of 10 times, this is always what it's going to be.
Yep. So that's why we're saying here, because you can see with us being 4 days away, the difference with model guidance. Okay, we don't have this solid agreement with the winter weather potential right now. So those, I'm just gonna look at NAM here and say the ones that are looking for accumulation maps or any impact maps, it's not gonna happen right now. We're 4 days away. It's not gonna happen at this point.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and jump to.
Well, here's the
NAM
thing: the NAM is still a little bit too far out. We're right on the edge.
Oh,
just kidding.
Whoa.
Okay, just kidding.
Right there at it. It's right there at it. That is following the Canadian.
Okay, so this is the brand new data into the Weather Center right now. So this is brand new data that has just come into the Weather Center. This is for Wednesday night. Am I correct?
Yep, that's Wednesday night.
So you have your freezing line. Again, our forecast is Ouachita, Little Rock, Memphis, North for icing. Right now, the NAM is right on. The NAM is just on that edge.
It's right there
of winter weather forecasting potential. So we're gonna have to watch it again. 30 to 32, you can deal with freezing rain. It's mostly going to be elevated surfaces. 28 to 30, we start talking about more power line issues and somewhat road issues. Anything below 28 degrees, that's when everything just becomes a disaster.
Yep.
And again, we're talking about heavy precipitation Wednesday night and Thursday. So if this falls as freezing rain, you're going to have a major icing event. And my concern is that we're going to have a major icing event from areas in north central, northeast Arkansas, northwest Arkansas. I still think you might be more sleet than snow.
Yeah.
Or sleet than freezing rain. I'm not sold on it yet, but the possibility is there.
Okay.
We also have to watch for wind.
Yeah. So here's my problem I have with the NAM. Okay, and this is why we're telling you guys now about the winter weather potential. Notice this is that same. It's like deja vu. It's the same thing that happened with the last event. Okay. Look what your colder air is coming down.
Around the mountains.
Around the mountains into northeastern Arkansas. Okay. Same thing. You've got northeast winds. So basically, whenever you're dealing with northeast winds, is that the colder air is fighting the mountains here.
Yep.
Okay. That favors a faster surge with the colder air versus anything else. Okay. So basically, what all that means in layman's terms, the potential winter weather with the short range guidance now.
Yep, it's starting to show shift south.
It's starting to show that colder shift south.
So now you have the NAM, the Canadian, to an extent, the GFS. So again, we are not model huggers. We don't hug models.
And that's what I'm talking about.
We forecast off of experience.
Yep.
And experience tells you 9 out of 10 times Arctic air is colder than what is currently on data.
Yep.
And right now, that is what I expect to see, is that you're going to start seeing this shift south over the next couple of days. I still say South Arkansas is going to be all cold rain. But for areas from Mena to Little Rock to Memphis, 50 miles, give or take, points north, I'm fully expecting to see possibly an icing event again.
I was just going to say, look at the NAM, by the way.
And what is concerning as well, guidance is typically warm at this point. It has temperatures 30 to 32 to 33 degrees already.
First thing Thursday morning, by the way, with temperatures continually fall. By the way, you've gone up here in northern Arkansas just with the NAM, by the way. You've gone from freezing rain to sleet now. So this is what we were talking about. With the colder air coming in further south, it's going to transition everybody out. That's why we haven't pulled any maps or anything about potential significant icing or anything like that, because all it takes is this thing going further south. Yep. And you're talking about all sleet and snow up there, and then the ice comes further south, similar with the last event here. So we will talk about this more, but we got to get past tomorrow first. Once we get past that point, we'll do that.
Sarah, yes, we're going to see significant flooding, especially for parts of northern Arkansas. I would not be shocked to see both river flooding and flooding issues, especially across parts of northern Arkansas. Throughout Monday, Tuesday, into Wednesday, ahead of the winter weather event.
Okay, I'm going to tackle a great question. Okay, so Jerry, South Arkansas will be okay. Jeff, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that comment.
Yes, there will be.
Thank you so much for that comment. Basically, what you're looking at right now is your dew points. This is why the NAM is so much colder than the others. Evaporational cooling. Your dew points are at 31 degrees. As long as your dew points is below freezing, that means your temperatures can fall to below freezing. that is why you're so much colder with and look at there, by the way, you're at 29, 30 degrees now with your dew points. The more your dew points fall, the more your temperatures will fall, okay? Because your temperatures and your dew points when precipitation falls has to meet together, okay? So right now, surface temperature in Little Rock, 32, first thing Thursday morning, a dew point of 29. That means you have a 3-degree difference between the dew point and the surface temperature, where the surface temperature can fall another 3 more degrees, and you talk about a cold rain to a significant icing event here. So thank you so much for that comment, Jeff. I really, really appreciate that comment so much. So what are we saying? Okay, so what about the River Valley, the Danville area, Albert? Honestly, it's still a wait and see, but I would prepare for winter weather there.
Again, so okay, let's go back to our winter weather map.
Yeah.
For the regional map for Wednesday into Thursday.
Yeah.
This is what I know we have to pull it back up.
Yeah.
But let's go look at it. So basically, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, right. It was
right there. There we go.
All right. So this is our current forecast. Again, it says Wednesday. This should say Wednesday night and Thursday.
Yep.
I do apologize about that once again. So, but once again, this is our map for Wednesday night and Thursday. Listen now. This is our current forecast based upon what we've seen over the past couple of days. 50 miles north or south of that low will change everything.
Yep.
Now, let's look at the NAM again.
Okay. So,
let's go back and look at the NAM again. Let's go to the moisture.
Okay. 1 second. That's dew points, by the way. We're looking at the reflectivity. Okay, let's go back to reflectivity real quick. Okay.
And here is the current forecast based upon what. Let's pull this out just a little bit.
Yeah, that's how far it goes out. It's 84 hours out.
Okay. All right. So
but I'll go back to this real quick.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right. So you can see our forecast versus where we're at right now. Almost the exact same. Again, we made this forecast without any short-term guidance there. Now we have short-term guidance starting to come in a little bit colder.
Yep.
So the bigger story is for this week.
This is
Monday.
This is going to go Canadian. I already see it now.
Monday, Tuesday, severe weather, heavy rain threats, flash flooding threats, especially for northern Arkansas.
Yep.
Severe threats, central, north, south, east, west, all.
Majority of the state, basically. Yeah.
Tornadoes, isolated tornadoes, damaging winds, and with the cold air aloft, large hail will also be a threat. We have enough. The only question is for Monday and Tuesday, will there be a cap?
Yep.
No cap, multiple severe weather event, a cap, mostly in line of storms as the cold front moves through.
Yeah, I was just going to say, here's the thing, with your cold front approaching, your heights are going to fall, your temperatures are going to fall a lot.
Yeah.
That's what's going to erode the cap. So if there is a cap, it's gonna erode very quick. What about Logan County? Same thing for you guys. Michael, great question. Will we have flash freezing with all the heavy rain before the winter weather?
Here's the...
Wednesday is going to be the dry period.
Yep.
That's going to be your biggest downfall. If this was, instead of a Thursday winter weather event, if it was Wednesday dealing with winter weather, I would say yes to that question immediately.
Yep.
But Wednesday is going to be a dry off period, so I don't think flash freeze will be an issue here, guys. So ice accumulation.
We're not going to... It's
a wait and see.
It's too soon.
It's way too soon. Here's the net, by the way. So
it's very too soon.
It's too soon. It's too soon for accumulation. I know everyone's wondering about accumulations, but when you're 4 days out, you're not going to get accurate accumulations, guys. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind with us. Be patient with us about that. Accumulations right now are not going to happen. It's just it's way too early for accumulations. But this is what it's trying to do.
This is where we're at.
This is where we're at.
So basically, this is what we want to mention. Monday, Tuesday, severe weather. Tuesday night, Tuesday afternoon.
And we got there to sleet. Yeah.
Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday is going to be dry.
Yep.
Once the cold front comes through, we should have a drying period. That should result in no issues with flash freezing. So we should see dry. We should stay mostly dry Tuesday night and Wednesday. So not any winter, anything like that. Then Wednesday, low pressure moves along the cold front to our south. Temperatures will have fallen into the 20s and 30s.
Yep.
Wednesday night, most of us will start out as rain. Northwest Arkansas will start out as winter weather. Wednesday night, overnight, we transition across much. If the forecast holds and that low stays on its current track, central and northern Arkansas will transition late, slowly but surely, freezing rain, possibly some sleet. Again, I said this with the last event. We ended up being mostly sleet, so go figure. Which was a blessing in disguise.
Definitely, blessing. A definite blessing.
But based on currently what we know and what we're watching for, we're going to be watching for Wednesday night and Thursday, that transition to sleet and to freezing rain and sleet.
Yep. So there was one question. Thank y'all for keeping us updated every single day. Who was that? Let me double check if that was. Give me a second. Okay, yeah. Thank you for every single day. Do you think this will be mostly in a tornado event? I think this is going to be primarily all modes. This is damaging wind, hail, and a tornado event. Now, there's before. If your cap doesn't break, then you're not going to see a lot of severe weather. Okay. However, like I said before, when you're 24 hours away from this severe threat, so basically severe threat's here, winter weather's way over here right now. Okay, so don't focus on just the sole tornado threat. I don't like the warm front position Monday night into Tuesday. I don't like that. I'm fully expecting to be live for a few tornado warnings tomorrow night and then Tuesday morning. I'm fully expecting it. And when you're dealing with a warm front setup, that always happens here. But there will be a damaging wind threat, and there definitely will be a hail threat. Like Derek said before, your cold temperatures aloft is going to play a big role with that hail threat.
There will be a flooding threat.
Yeah, there will be a flooding threat as well. I honestly wouldn't be shocked, especially in western Arkansas. You see a 30 for the hail potential. Because of so much cold air aloft with this upcoming system here. So, same thing for Van Buren County, up there in northwestern Arkansas up there. So, basically, damaging wind, hail, the tornado threat is there as well. 5% tour for the potential of seeing tornadoes here, guys. Said before, main threat, damaging winds, hail, isolated tornado event for tomorrow. Okay. Let me see here. Any news for Baxter County? Same thing for you guys up there. For tomorrow, severe threat will be there for tomorrow, and then you will transition over to the winter weather threat as we get towards Wednesday and Thursday. Polk County over there, Alicia, honestly, tomorrow night I would have a plan ready to go just to be on the safe side, guys. You guys know, stay with us. We'll have updates all day long. Noah will be here during the day on tomorrow, okay? So I want to stress, during the day tomorrow, you're going to be good to go. There should not be any severe weather during the day tomorrow. However, tomorrow evening and tomorrow night is where things could be getting a little rocky here. So, as I said before, Noah's going to take care of your updates tomorrow. Me and Derek will be back in the Weather Center by the time we get towards mid to late afternoon tomorrow evening here. Go ahead, Derek.
All right, so just to sum everything up, in case you've been following along with us tonight. Monday, Tuesday, severe weather, heavy rain, flash flooding. Tuesday night and Wednesday, dry, great. It's going to get cold. It's going to get stupid cold. We're going to be in the 70s on Tuesday morning. We're going to be in the 20s and 30s by Tuesday night. Wednesday afternoon, we should all start out as rain, except for northwest corner of the state. Wednesday night, along and north of 40, Washita Mountains should transition to freezing rain and or sleet or both. They're north. Basically, Mena, Little Rock, Memphis, north.
I'll draw it out.
Okay? So basically, from Wednesday night into Thursday, we will see the second wave of moisture. You're going to get a break in between the two systems. Severe weather, heavy rain to potential winter weather. And again, basically, Mena to Little Rock to anywhere in that pink circle is where the greatest potential for at least some winter weather is. Obviously, the Ozark Mountains are going to see a lot of winter weather out of this event. Will it be freezing rain? Will it be sleet? Or will it be snow? I don't think we're going to see much snow out of this. I think we could see a lot more freezing rain out of this event than we saw out of the last. But I also think we can see a lot more sleet out of this than we saw out of the last two, especially with the heavy amount of moisture that we're going to have in place.
Definitely.
So, as we head into southern Arkansas, Wednesday into Thursday. Wednesday night into Thursday, all rain. It's going to be heavy rain at that at times as this low moves across. So, not only that, Monday into Tuesday, we could see 1 to 3 inches of rain across much of the state. Wednesday into Thursday, not counting ice, 1 to 3 inches of rain across much of the state. That is not counting ice totals right now. If that falls as ice,
we're gonna have
we could have some serious issues, especially in northern Arkansas.
Yeah, we're gonna have some serious issues if that falls as ice.
Now, if you're keeping up, so you have Monday, Tuesday, you have Wednesday, Thursday. Fast forward to Saturday. There's another system that's going to be right on the heels of this one with the cold front still to our south. The question, and there's going to be cold air in place. How cold is that going to be? The concern for Saturday is that it could cut off northern Arkansas with a central and southern Arkansas rain to winter mix event Saturday night into early Sunday.
Yep.
We've been watching this. We didn't want to say anything about it because it was kind of there, kind of not. Now it's starting to show up. If it's like everything else, we're going to end up having to add it and increase in the forecast as we go. Again, last February we were dealing with a massive snowstorm. This year, we're dealing with everything.
Literally
so,
everything.
Again, the biggest thing is to just keep watching for each event. We're going to take each event piece by piece as we go throughout this week. It's a long week ahead. You know, bear with everybody. Bear with your forecasters. Bear with your National Weather Service. Bear with your local TV stations. It's going to be a long week across the board.
Yeah, and
we're all here to keep you safe and ahead of the storm.
Yeah, and the one thing that I want to stress, and I said before, I know I sound like a broken record with this, but I've got over 200 people on this live stream right now. So tomorrow, because I know somebody out there is going to ask for tomorrow. We don't mind answering questions or anything like that. Okay. Tomorrow we are going to be in severe weather mode. We're going to be in severe weather mode for tomorrow. You're probably not going to see a winter weather post on the page tomorrow, especially if this thing goes enhanced.
Yep.
Okay? So, all the information you need about the winter weather is going to be on this page. Okay? It's going to be all pinned in a post that you can see. Okay?
Well,
tomorrow,
transfer that to our website.
Yeah, well, yeah, and we have that on our website as well. Okay? So, if you need that, it's going to be on our website. But if we go enhanced tomorrow, we're going to be in severe weather mode. Okay? So, no need to get frustrated with us or anything like that if we don't talk about winter weather, okay? Severe weather is gonna take the primarily most of our attention for the first 2 days of this week. It's just gonna happen. Winter weather, we will get to it when we can.
Yep.
But severe weather right now is gonna be our primary target. Once we get past the severe threat, we'll go all mode into winter weather. We'll start talking full winter weather. We'll have your accumulation maps, everything else. But for the first 2 days, we're going to be in severe weather mode, okay? So, if this goes enhanced, tomorrow, we call that SWAT Day, Severe Weather Awareness Day, okay? So, tomorrow, if that happens, be ready to go. Sit down with your family. It's 9 o'clock tonight, Sunday night. You just had your dinner. Say, hey, if something happens tomorrow night, where can I go if there's a tornado? Or where can I go if there's damaging winds? Or where can I go where there's hail or something like that, okay? Sit down with your family tonight, and go over that. That way you're good to go, just in case something happens. We're not expecting this to be an outbreak.
Nope.
We're not expecting this to be a apocalyptic thing here in Arkansas. It's just not going to happen. Some folks, as he said before, some folks may not even see any rain out of this, okay? It's going to be so spotty. Okay. However, it just depends on where the warm front sets up. What are we looking at, etc. We'll have all the information for you guys tomorrow. Noah's going to be here. Be patient with Noah too. You guys know the whole rule about the whole, bashing and stuff like that. You guys know what to do, so you're good to go. But he will have all your updates tomorrow. Okay. So we have a moderator on the page too. So yeah. So tomorrow we'll be good to go. Yeah.
And the biggest thing is that just be prepared for rapidly changing weather conditions. Again, it's going to get warm. It's going to get. We may see a little bit of sunshine in the morning. And that's something we're going to have to watch. If we see sunshine tomorrow ahead of this event, that will be even more concerning.
We're going to have some problems.
So we're just going to have to watch this as we go. Again, it's not to alarm. It's just to keep you informed of what's coming. And again, this is going to be a long. This is almost very similar to the weeks that we had last year, just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because last year we didn't have any sleep either. But we tracked winter storm after winter storm after winter storm.
Yeah.
This time around, we're tracking severe weather, flash flooding, winter weather. I think I got that all in one week.
Yeah.
Especially if we're having spring and winter in 1 week. Again, the flooding threat is concerning to me.
Yeah, and that's the rainfall. Somebody asked about the rainfall total there in Blytheville, which is northeast Arkansas. So we're talking about 3 to 4 inches of rain, maybe in some cases up towards 5 inches of rain up there in northeastern Arkansas for the next 5 days tonight. That's it for it. It's not going to happen all at once. You don't want this happening all at once. But this is going to be spread out with the next 5 days here, guys. So the flood watch is in effect. Don't ignore the flooding potential. Don't ignore the severe threat. I know it's not popular. We understand. But you can't endure. You just can't, because you don't want to be blindsided by it. There's the number one thing you don't want to be blindsided about with it. Okay, so I don't think this is going to be a big time severe event. We're talking moderate, high risk, or anything like that. However, it is important that you know where you are. Yep. You know your counties. I anticipate either a severe thunderstorm watch or a tornado watch. Okay, Manny, great question. Could this be an enhanced risk? Honestly, yeah. It has that potential.
There's not an enhanced risk anywhere in the state.
There's there's no currently.
This orange this is a rainfall map.
This is a rainfall map. Okay, so this is pure rainfall right now. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about too. Okay, the graphics. You gotta read the graphics too. Okay, so be sure tomorrow, throughout this entire event, for the next couple of days, for this entire week, you got to read the entire graphics, guys, because you're going to have a lot of stuff thrown at you. Rainfall, severe, winter, all that's going to be thrown at you guys this week. This is going to be a very, 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 very crazy week here in Arkansas. It's going to be a very crazy week. Rain, 70s, 30s, 20s, yeah. It's going to be crazy.
If we get a chance to do, and we lost our camera, by the way. If we get a chance,
there we go.
If we get a chance to do a 7-day outlook, we're going to post that strictly on the website.
Yep.
Because we're not going to have time to worry about it on the main page. We're going to have a lot more information on the main page. And again, that will probably be Tuesday night. Into Wednesday, we'll update on that. But again, that's why we utilize our website. Basically, the biggest thing is just be prepared for severe weather, flooding, and winter weather all this week.
Definitely.
Especially if you live in central and northern Arkansas. The northern 2/3 of the state will likely see, unfortunately for our folks in South Arkansas, where we are drought stricken.
Big time drought stricken.
This concerns me that we're not seeing that much rain down there. This is where a lot of our farmlands are.
Yeah.
We desperately need the rain ahead of spring, and we're not getting it. Again, we're just starting our rainy season. February into March into April is much of the is the rainiest part of the year.
Yep.
For us, besides the month of November.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the month of November is one of the wettest times of the year in Arkansas, usually, except for last year. But we're not gonna go into that.
Yeah, last year.
Usually, second year La Nina spring are typically drier than normal.
Yep.
Which means we have more drought setups, but they also tend to lead to more severe weather than usual. So, but again, we're going to have our spring outlook next week. So again, we've pretty much gone over, I think, everything we can go over this evening. Again, if you have any questions, we'll be glad to answer them as we go.
I was going to say, the one thing I want to stress between, like I said, for us here, we're not, whenever we talk about the graphics and stuff like that, we're not meant to bash anybody or anything like that. Don't take it personal or anything. It's just us trying to tell you guys there's going to be a lot of information thrown y'all's way. Very, 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 very crazy week coming up over the next couple of days. Very crazy weather coming for us here in Arkansas. It's going to be crazy here. So we're going to have to watch it close. Flooding graphics, winter weather graphics. I'm not worried about wind right now, but I'll watch it. Every sort of weather mode here in Arkansas you're going to have here, okay? So you're going to have to watch it close. We'll keep you guys updated, okay? So I think that's it for questions. Alicia, we're going to work on that as soon as we can. We're going to try to have that out for tomorrow. You're not going to see a time map for winter weather right now. It's just not going to happen. But severe weather definitely. We'll have that out here in just a little bit. We're getting some 0C guidance in now, so we're going to try to see where everything kind of fits and go from there. But I would say probably the start time is going to be 8, 9 o'clock.
Yep.
Much today, tomorrow, we should be good to go.
Yes, another overnight event.
Yeah, another overnight event. Yeah,
I hate it too. So.
Yeah, I don't buy that, by the way. I see. Okay, so that is Tuesday with the HR. We'll talk about that separately. Yep. But hello, y'all from Northwestern Louisiana. Okay, Sandra. Yeah, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Okay, we really appreciate y'all for being here. We really do. Okay, and that's so for none of our stuff's meant to bash or anything like that. Here, it's gonna get crazy, folks. It's gonna get crazy this week. It's gonna be everything's gonna be thrown at you outside the kitchen sink at this point. So. Derek, you got anything else?
Nope. Just stick with us, and we'll keep you ahead of the storm. It's going to be a long week ahead, but once again, we'll be right here with you throughout it. It's nothing that we aren't used to here in Arkansas. And since 2014, we have been doing this together. And we will continue doing it and get through another event right here on your source
for all things Arkansas weather.